Okay, today we're going to be doing a what if Deku was OP, and I really want to say go subscribe to my other channel, Mr. What If. I haven't been uploading, I only got one video on the channel, but the video is actually pretty good. I'm going to start over on this channel because I can actually post from home on this channel. And let's get started. Okay, when Deku was born, he was very special, very buff. Like, he was a buff baby. and the reason why is because he's technically a god. If you've ever seen Seven Deadly Sins, he's got some DNA from the Giant Clan, the Fairy Clan, the demons. He's also got DNA from the angels. So he's a very buff child, because he's also got Cruel Sun, Escanor Sunshine. But seeing as he's also part demon, he'll be super buff in the night, because, the whole thing. And he's super buff. So we're going to time skip 4 years. They think he was just, born buff. They thought it would go away. But 4 years later, it still hasn't gone away. He's super buff. So they take him to the hospital to have him have his quirk checked out. They say, okay, physical enhancement. But in actual reality, the doctor knows how OP he is. But he doesn't want to, say that. And he's not going to put it in the files because he wants to protect the world. Trying to be hero, And I feel him on that. And if you look in the thumbnail, we're going to, time jump about 12 years. This is what he looks like. He looks this huge and musculent. So, him and Bakugo are friends because he actually has a quirk and he's huge. The whole shaput happens, okay, the teacher comes in and he's all like, okay, we're going to have to do the career assessments. And he's like, I'm just kidding. Throws all the papers in the air. And he's like, I know you all want to be heroes. And they're all like, yeah, flashing their quirks off. Meanwhile, in the original, he didn't flash his quirk off because he didn't have a quirk. But in this one, Deku just flexed. And his shirt poofed off like confetti. It was like, poof, confetti. And then he was, he walked under the bridge and did the whole thing. The villain tried to get him because he has a huge body. Like, dang, he's buff. And, Deku was just like, the villain splattered. Like, you know how All Might did the villain? It was times 20. Then All Might came, he was like, whoa. All Might literally had to look up to see Deku's face. He's like, you a kid? He's like, yeah, I'm only 12. All Might's in his mind like, what the crap? Krapika. And then, he does his thing. He's like, I gotta go, put the Sludgeville in the bottle, and jumps away. And Deku, by this time, has some control over his power, and he notices All Might's wound. So he jumps. I'm talking Hulk jumps after All Might. He's like, I can heal that wound for you. All Might's like, Nani? How do you know? He's like, I have my ways. And he heals it in. All Might's like, what is your name? He says, Izuku Midoriya. He's like, I'll see you at UA if that's where you're going. And he jumps away in his buff form. So the whole Bakugo incident doesn't happen because Deku doesn't latch onto him. So we're going to give it a time skip. 2 years. And let's say he's now finishing middle school. Because, let's say, he's finishing high school, but let's say UA is a college. And he does, he finds, he meets Uraraka in his high school days. and they start to date and get all lovey-dovey. And you know how there was other competitive high schools, and the when they had the whole tournament. She's gonna go to Shigetsu High, wherever Cammy went, and he's gonna go to UA. So they're gonna split for a minute. But there's gonna be a plot twist. I swear, this plot twist that's gonna come up will be a game changer. So he goes to UA and he does the aptitude test. No, I'm talking, he's smart. Like 1,000 of the smartest person in the world. Smart. He's 1,000 Nezus. So he aces the test. And then when they're like, okay, the practical exam, he doesn't notice Uraraka because she's not there. But Ida's like, dude, deactivate your quirk. He's like, this isn't a quirk, as he looks down at Ida. Ida's like, Nani? Okay, so the gates open. Deku's like, Flash, he's out of there. And they're all like, he's cheating. And President Mike is all like, hey, there's no saying go when it comes to a real hero battle, so go, go, go. They all run in, but by the time they get there, there's no 3-pointers or any 2-pointers. There's only 1-pointers. There's only like 5 of those. So Deku gets the dub, and they have to retake the test because there's not enough robots for everyone. So that happens, and he knows he obviously passed. And Nezu's like, "What is this kid's power?" And then he's like, and then Aizawa's like, "I bet he's all brawn, no brain." Nezu pulls up the paper. He's like, he got them all right. He even corrected some of the mistakes we purposely made. What is this kid? And All Might's like, in his head, he's like, yep, that kid, that kid's OP. We do not need him, to turn into a villain. And guess what happens? He passes. Bakugo passes. And then he gets in class, everything happens and but in this one, he's not going to have the hero costume you see. No, 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 no. We're going to change his hero costume up. Let me find a pic real quick. He's nothing. And everybody's like, is this guy a villain? Is he a hero? They're confused. Then he walks into 1A because he got his own letter and everything. And once he walks into 1A, everyone's like, what the heck? This guy's huge. And because he can barely fit through the door. You know how the door was huge in the actual series? He has to duck and squeeze in his muscles for that to happen. And as he's squeezing in his muscles, his shirt pops off. And every single woman in that school has a nosebleed. They can all see him. That's how buff he is. And Aizawa's like, dang, hey, go to class, whatever that technological class is, ask them to make you a shirt that is actually indestructible, for your muscles, because Jesus Christ, they're huge. And, they do that. After he gets a muscle-proof shirt, they do the quirk assessment test, and obviously he's gonna get, ace it first try. But for the fall throw, I want to tell you the juiciness. He throws it. It goes into the atmosphere and comes back like a boomerang. But when he catches it, it destroys the earth underneath him. It's like a boomerang. He throws it, it comes back and destroys it. Like Hulk just jumped off from that piece of land. And everyone's like, oh. And they're like, and then Aizawa is like, infinity. Like, you can't beat this guy. For the speed, he literally goes around the world. One lap. Just like, because he was trying to jog, but he literally around the world. And he obviously won that. For the high jump, he jumped so high. When he landed, he was in France. So he had to jump back to his city. And yeah, so pretty OP. He's pretty OP. And they go home, right? When he gets to his house, because he's had a job, he's got a little apartment. He sees a note saying, "We had your girlfriend. If you ever want to see her again, you have to work for us." And, I'm going to leave who kidnapped her anonymous, because they did live together. And he's like, and then they also gave him a location. It happens to be the beach, because he did clean the beach, seeing as he's ripped. He just wanted to. And he goes to the beach, and come to find out, who has his girlfriend? It's Endeavor, with his greedy A word. So, Endeavor's like, okay, work for me, kill All Might. Deku's like, never. And guess what happens? His girlfriend's already dead. He shows Deku the rotten corpse and says he'll do the same to him if he doesn't kill All Might. So Deku goes on to like a rampage. He goes Hulk mode. He's literally boom jacked, like 25 million times more jacked than you see in this picture. And he smushes Endeavor. He's basically gone Hulk mode. And he becomes a villain from there on. Okay, I'm gonna end off the video right here. And seeing as the intro didn't work, let's see if the outro will. Outro, fine. Dang it! Outro's not gonna work. But I do want to show you guys my intro. Anime army, ayy!